All right, in today's episode of me documenting the steady fall of our democracy, the Supreme Court limits the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to set climate standards for power plants. The Supreme Court on Thursday limited the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to set standards on climate changing greenhouse gas emissions for existing power plants. The court ruled 6-3, no shit, that Congress, not the EPA, has the power to create broad systems of cap and trade regulations to limit emissions from existing power plants in a bid to transition away from coal and renewable energy sources. Chief Justice Roberts wrote in the majority opinion, also known as West Virginia versus the EPA. The majority opinion was joined in the court's 5 other conservative members. In its 6-3 ruling, the court, I already read that. The decision is a major setback for Biden's administration agenda to combat climate change, specifically the goal of zero out carbon emissions from power plants by 2035 and to cut half the country's emissions by 2100. The case stems from the EPA's directive in 2015 to coal plants to either reduce production or subsidize alternate forms of energy. The order was never implemented because it was immediately challenged in court. Fossil fuel-fired power plants are the second largest source of pollution in the United States behind transportation, according to the EPA. The U.S. is the second largest producer of greenhouse gases behind China, making it a key player in the global efforts to combat climate change. Get down here. Justice Elena Kagan wrote in a dissent that was joined by the court's other 2 liberals. Today, the court strips the Environmental Protection Agencies of the power Congress gave it to respond to the most pressing environmental challenges of our time, Kagan wrote in dissent. The court appoints itself, instead of Congress, the expert agency, the decision maker on climate policy. I cannot think of many things more frightening, Kagan wrote. She also said that the majority claims it's just following precedent, but that is not so, for the court has never used the term major question doctrine before. We're just following precedent. Literally invents new shit to get away with what they're saying. White House spokesperson today on the EP ruling was another devastating decision for the court that aims to take our country backwards. President Biden will not relent in using his authorities under the law to protect public health and tackle the climate change crisis. The spokesperson said, "Our lawyers will study the ruling carefully and we will find ways to move forward under federal law." Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, in a statement, said it adds to the number of dangerously outrageous decisions that have rightly tarnished the public's confidence in the courts. First on gun safety, then on abortion, now on the environment. This MAGA regressive extremist Supreme Court is intent on setting America back decades, if not centuries, Schumer said. The Republican-appointed majority of the MAGA court is pushing this country back to a time when robber barons and corporate elites had complete power and the average citizen had no say. Pretty grim. Pretty grim. And that's today's episode. I don't know how to put a smile on that. If you want to debate me on anything, it's you can join the Discord. If you want to support me monetarily, I have a Patreon. Follow me over on YouTube where you can see exclusive contents like my debates that are uploaded every Monday. And with that, I will bid you all adieu. Goodbye.